Welcome to Medicine Talk ND Live, where you can discover life without medicine. Join us live 12 to 1 CST every weekday, where you can talk to a naturopathic doctor for free and learn more about naturopathic medicine. ND Live is brought to you in partnership with FullScript, the doctor's choice for delivering the safest source of professional-grade supplements to their patients.
Welcome, everybody. I am Dr. Eli Camp here today with Dr. Peter Swanz, and we are doing some interviews, some live interviews with the doctors who are participating in Medicine Talks ND Live, which really is a chance for you to come and talk to naturopathic doctors for free. We have an ND on the phone every weekday, 12 to 1 Central Standard Time, and some weekends. And we thought, hey, it'd be great if you could actually see some of the doctors that are on the phone that you're talking to. So welcome, Dr. Swanz. Thank you for being here. And you have a practice in Louisville.
Correct, Eli. Thank you for having me. I grew up just across the river, the Ohio River, from Louisville, Kentucky. So after I finished med school, I went to Boston and practiced for about 3 years in Cambridge. And then all along, I wanted to bring naturopathic medicine, classical homeopathy back to Kentucky. It's a state that tends to struggle as far as the markers of health go. And, I want to be part of the transformation that's happening in this area.
Well, that's amazing. And from what I see, what the things you're doing, you're absolutely part of that. That's so great. So you went to school at Southwest College, but what brought you to naturopathic medicine? How'd you end up doing this, and why?
I was prepared to go to a more conventional medical school at the time when conventional medicine was really changing. They were just starting, as I started my undergraduate college experience, they were just starting HMOs and PPOs. And so I was at a small liberal arts school, and we were having a lot of conversations about the direction healthcare was going. And I didn't want to be a doctor that didn't know my patients, and that I wasn't getting to, really patients weren't getting to pick me, but I wasn't getting to pick them. I wanted to have a relationship with patients the way that I felt that my family doctor growing up had with our family. He was he was an allopathic physician, but he was a great guy, a great healer, and we had a personal relationship with him. So I was interested in finding a program that really emphasized the human-to-human connection, the personal experience. And I kind of took a break. I was thinking maybe the osteopathic route. And I did AmeriCorps for a year after school and took a part-time job at a health food store. And I just started reading about nutrition and about diet and lifestyle. I really wasn't big into the supplements. I had actually never been to a chiropractor. I'd never had acupuncture. The manager at the health food store told me that all the homeopathy was placebo. So I wasn't necessarily looking for naturopathic medicine, but an article in one of the health magazines compared the three U.S. naturopathic schools, SCNM, National, and Bastyr. And when I read that article, it was just like the light bulb went off for me. That's where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, that is great. That is great. So tell us a little bit about your practice.
Well, I try to keep my practice really small. I like to keep my overhead low. I really like having a very flexible and balanced lifestyle for myself, and I want to encourage that in patients. So I don't have a lot of other people in my office working with me, but I'm in a shared practice space with 3 other practices: a nurse practitioner that's doing more kind of family, primary care type medicine, a DO who is doing almost exclusively joint therapy, PRP, stem cell therapy. So things that we have training in, but I can't offer in an unlicensed state. I'm really glad to have this DO practicing with me. He's a great guy. And then an acupuncturist who just moved to Louisville from Portland, where she worked in a practice with other naturopaths. So she's very aware of what I'm offering. And we've really got a great sort of collaborative practice. We're all individual businesses, but we have a beautiful office space. We share it. We can host classes. We do open houses. And so it's got a really good feel to it. I feel very fortunate to have met these people. And then there's also really, there's a pretty impressive community developing in Louisville. There's, a ton of great chiropractors. There's a few other naturopaths practicing here, a couple doing acupuncture. And so, I think the tide's slowly shifting.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So for so long, the central part, because I'm in Oklahoma, right? And
Right.
there's like 9 naturopathic doctors for the whole state. So
Right.
it sounds like it's starting to grow, and that in part has to be because the world, the communities are interested in working with naturopathic doctors.
Absolutely. And I tell patients, my office is in Louisville, Kentucky. I live in southern Indiana, just across the river. I'm only about 8 minutes from downtown Louisville, but Indiana's got a nice group of naturopaths spread throughout the state. And there's really kind of been a resurgence in the Indiana State Association. And just last week, our president sent out an email that there's a senator who wants to sponsor a bill for licensure in Indiana. So, I think the tide's shifting. I think Indiana would probably swing before Kentucky will. But I'm right on the border. So, either way, it's going to be good for me.
Awesome. I was talking yesterday to one of the other NDs in ND Live, and we were talking about how we see people come into the office at such a late stage of chronic illness, and if they had been able to find a naturopathic doctor or implement some of this medicine earlier, their journeys would not be nearly so difficult. You see a lot of that too in your practice?
Yeah, quite a bit. I feel like a lot of my patients are coming direct word of mouth. Or they're these exact patients you're describing, the people that are at the end of the rope. They've done everything they possibly could conventionally. They've been to every other specialist. They've tried all the different meds, and they just don't feel better. And so they're looking for something else, and they come in. I'm an optimist. I feel like anybody that truly wants to be healthy and is willing to make the difficult changes to get healthy, I think our body has an incredible propensity to heal. And so I'm an optimist. I think people can continue to get better regardless of what state in their pathology they're in. It's just they have to be willing to do the work. And that, for me, that's sort of been, I think, one of the more tricky aspects or things that I've developed, in almost 10 years of practice now, is recognizing that there's some people who just want their problems fixed, and they're not going to do the work. They don't want to change their diet. They don't want to change their lifestyle. They don't truly want to look at their health holistically. They're just looking for some alternative to the conventional pharmaceutical approach. And realistically, those aren't great patients for me. I want to work with patients that are looking to transform their life holistically. There's a lot of other practitioners around town that will happily recommend a ton of supplements or herbs, instead of looking at the whole picture.
Right. So you don't really specialize in anything. You are well, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, classical homeopathy, for me, I love classical homeopathy because it is truly a holistic approach. I get great results with it for all kinds of patients and conditions. And I just, I don't think it's really going to happen, but if the zombie apocalypse comes, I can grab my remedies and throw them in a bag, and I think I'm a pretty valuable resource on somebody's health team. So I love classical homeopathy, but I use botanical herbs, I use supplements, and orthomolecular nutrition. I do a lot with diet. I talk a lot with people about ketogenic type diets, moving away from the high glycemic, high carb stuff. And I like to talk to people about the lifestyle stuff, about exercising and managing stress and getting a good night's sleep. Some of these very simple things that aren't easy to change, but when we do and they become new habits, it's profound how it impacts our health.
Right. Well, and you are such a walk the path kind of person.
Right.
I remember, so Dr. Swanz was ahead of me in school, but there's certain people that they practice what they preach. And I think we all try to, and some of us do it better than others. And you were always, I think, one of the ones we were like, man, you're going to be such a great example for your patients because you know how to help them and you do it yourself. So,
well, and I tell patients, I like to, I think authenticity is a trait that I want to, exemplify all the time. And I tell my patients, I don't always eat the way I want to eat. I don't always exercise what I feel like I should exercise, but what I've realized is as my health overall has shifted to a more vital, a stronger state, it's easier for me to get back on track when I slip off a little bit. They're not these huge detours that I think we can experience in the beginning, and that can be discouraging for patients. But letting them know, we keep pushing, we keep progressing, and it's going to get easier and easier as it goes. And I think that can be, a little bit of a relief and an encouragement.
Right. No, I agree. I think that's a really potent, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been asking all the NDs to share their favorite herb with us and why you like it. Give people some free herbal advice out there.
Sure. I may say two, holy basil's my number one for sure. And I really just, it was an herb that I feel was so vital and such a great support for me for my adrenals and through med school. And I constantly tell every, college or graduate student patient I have that they should be taking holy basil. But I also really like it because I heard Paul Schulich, who was one of the founding partners at New Chapter, a great herbal company. And I was their student rep when I was in school, so I was a little biased, but I was on a call with him one time and he was talking about it, and that this, holy basil's grown all around the temples in India. There's like this reverence for it. And he also talked about it energetically as being a healer for the heart. And I just always thought that was really beautiful. So a lot of times when I'm dealing with patients that have had loss or sadness, grief, which a lot of people had, and seem to be dealing with adrenal fatigue or dysfunction, I just think holy basil is such a great support. And then the other herb that I love with holy basil is rhodiola, right? And yeah, just another great adaptogen herb. It's good for cognitive function when we're fatigued. I feel like holy basil and rhodiola were, supported me and carried me in some ways through med school. So I love those two herbs, and I still take rhodiola and holy basil just, periodically. I just mix it into my morning supplement routine.
Which is why you probably can get up so early and go work out when the rest of us are like, sleep.
My wife, Robin, is an early morning person, and I tease her that over all our time together, she just gradually got me waking up earlier and earlier, like 15-minute intervals to now I get up bright and early with her and go to bed. Like I feel like a really old person, but it feels great. It feels great.
Well, yeah, it's our circadian rhythm, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can people how do they find you? Where do they go?
Yeah, my last name is Swanz. So it's like the bird, SWAN, but with a Z at the end. And my website's just drswanz.com, DRSWANZ.com. I think the website's the best place. I've got a bunch of YouTube videos, but I haven't done anything new for a while. I've got some ideas about maybe where I'd like to go with that. And hopefully in 2017, I'll start producing some more content that way. I was writing for a couple magazines and producing content for almost 5 years. And I just this past year, I felt like I needed to take a break a little bit in that regard. And so I'm kind of refreshing and getting some new ideas where I want to go with that. But the website's the best place really to connect with me. That's where I send any potential patients.
Okay, awesome. And a link to your YouTube channel's right on your website.
Yeah, absolutely right. There's videos on there and all the other social media stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making the time to come and talk to us today. And y'all, Dr. Swanz is on every month. Check the calendar for ND Live. jump on and talk to him. He's just a super powerhouse of knowledge, a great doctor, and we're really honored to have you part of the MD Live team, Dr. Swanz.
Thank you. I'm excited to participate in it. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that you're doing, pulling all these doctors together from around the country to connect with people and to educate, because I think that's an important, piece of the puzzle. What we're doing is really a gift to the community and to the people. And there's a lot of things that are similar in some ways and close, but it's not the same as true naturopathic medicine. And so I just think this is a valuable resource, and I hope a lot of people take advantage of it.
Me too. Awesome. Listen, happy holidays, and
Thank you,
I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Yep.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
Visit medicinetalk.org to join us at ND Live today. And be sure to ask your doctor about Full Script.